All right, what about journaling and workbooks and things like that? Okay, some of you are writers. Some of you like to journal notes and take down. So, do you ever go back through those notebooks? That's what I want to know. Do you got notebooks piled up everywhere, but you never go back to them? So maybe that helps you when you're taking notes. One of the things about taking notes, though, like when you're listening to calls and things like that, is that if you're taking notes, you're also disconnected from some of the experiences. So what I'd prefer you did is listen to the call, then listen to it again and take notes. But I'd really like you to listen to them, not multitask. Please don't multitask. Just really show up and pay attention, because there's a lot of nuances and a lot of things that are going on. I use a lot of different modalities when I'm teaching: voice inflection, cadence, all sorts of things. And they're there for a reason, to help your subconscious mind absorb information. So please don't take notes while you're listening to the calls. Now, that said, I think that one of the reasons we have the secret Facebook group is so that you can journal on the wall. And what I mean by that is you start your thread and then you write things on the wall, like did the practices today. Great. It can be something as simple as that. Did the practices. Awesome. I've got a question. To some people write, tons of stuff. You don't have to read other people's stuff, just so you know. If you come to a group and it's got a million things, you're like overwhelmed. You only need to do your thing. You don't have to listen, watch, look at, read other people's stuff. You don't. If that's overwhelming, don't do it. Just look at your own thread. So on your thread, you've started it off, Tanya's thread, comments welcome or not, and I'm writing and I'm like, oh my gosh, so I'm really struggling with the static hold. Okay, well then myself or a coach might come along and pop on there and say, what's going on? So it's not only just the Q&A. You can actually ask questions as you're having them, so you don't forget about them on the 2 weeks from now at the Q&A call. So that's a good way to tag into that. It's beautiful to watch the progress too. It helps me and the other co-coach get what's going on with you. If we don't see you, like you're there, and all of a sudden you've disappeared, we can go, hey, hello, where are you? What's going on? You've fallen off. Well, you're gonna come back. You don't have to worry about how you write. You don't have to worry about your grammar. You don't have to worry about your spelling, whatever. Just write something. And keeping track of your progress is awesome at the end when you get to look at it all and you see where you came, because a lot of the times we make changes and we're like, But you can look back there and see, oh my God, look at all the amazing things that have happened in this last 6 months. And typically they are pretty amazing. So I encourage you to journal. I encourage you to use the Facebook group wall so that I and your co-coach are privy to that. You don't have to write down all your private information there, right? It's not the story, it's the progress, and that's different. So instead of saying, oh, so, my husband and I had this really big fight, and talk about the whole fight, story about the whole fight, right? You can say, ooh, what I noticed was last time I had an argument with my spouse, I broke a pattern by doing this. That's the stuff you can write about. Or I noticed that we keep getting into the same argument. We don't need the whole personal details of the story to know what's going on. You can write them, but if you don't want to write them, then don't feel like you have to either. So there's a lot of different ways to journal on the wall. And, you can also create your own workbook from what's going on too. If you're one of those people that likes to go, oh, I'm going to take this and do that, obviously you can do that. But really the journaling and keeping a little bit of track, and it can be easy as did the practices, nothing happened. Did the practices, had this feeling. Did the practices, notice this happened. Great. You can do it short, quick, bullet point, not. You can write, I have, like I said, people who write novellas, whatever you want. But what I would suggest is you do something and show up so that we know you're participating. We know where you are. You're on our radar, so we can help keep track of what's going on with you and help you be more successful. Okay?